Hey guys, so we are here finally to do our top 10 movies of 2019. No, every other year I said the wrong year, but this time I said the right year. Top 10
here we
movies.
go, it's 2012, let's do it!
I know this video is coming out later than a lot of top 10 lists. I don't know when this will be uploaded because I got this like my last week of the first semester of school, and there's a lot of stuff I gotta do for that. But this will probably be this will probably be uploaded soon. Also, check out Underdog if you haven't. That was just uploaded recently. That was my last video. Worked hard on that movie, and we haven't made a short film in a while. That was fun to make. I finally got Max to not be busy, and so we're finally making a video together again. It's been a while, but you know, disclaimers. I know you saw more films than me, but I saw about like 70 to 80 movies, and obviously...
I saw 86, so pretty much the same.
Yeah, and I did not review a lot of them, obviously, so there's going to be movies on this list I didn't review, and my thoughts might have changed on certain films, and all that stuff, and lastly, opinions. So let's get on with this.
Yeah, that's all you need to say now.
Okay, so we're going to start with honorable mentions, and then we're going to do 10, 10, 9, 9 like we do every year. So I'm going to start off with my honorable mentions. Fighting with My Family, a very, very good film with great performances all around, and it's just all around super enjoyable from start to finish, and it just has excellent writing, so... check that out if you haven't. Spider-Man Far From Home, a thoroughly entertaining MCU film. I was just absolutely entertained the entire time. I think Mysterio was really good. Jake Gyllenhaal was fantastic. The chemistry between Zendaya and Peter Parker, really good stuff there. Marriage Story, a very, very kind of depressing film, but at the same time it's filled with some of the best acting I've seen in a while from Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
Who's Adam Driver? It's the guy who said, I just had sex and I'm about to eat nachos!
Yeah.
That's how everyone knows him. Anyway, go on.
That's how no one knows it but us.
No, everyone, no, yeah.
It kind of seems to take some sort of artsy route, but at the same time it's like, it works for this film, I guess. Jojo Rabbit, I just thoroughly love this film. It's so heartwarming by the end, and it just... I could watch this a billion times. It'll just make me feel good, and it has terrific performances as well. Uncut Gems, very intense, one of the most intense movies of the year, and an absolutely fantastic performance by Adam Sandler. He got snubbed at the Oscars, which that kind of sucks. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, there's that. And finally, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, really great performance by Tom Hanks and the main guy. I don't remember his name.
Wait. Tom Hanks. Oh, and Something Reese. Something Reese, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Something Reese.
Yeah, so he was really good in it too. And it was surprisingly mature. It was a lot more mature than I thought it was going to be. It was very...
and dark.
Yeah, and it touched on a lot of mature themes, just like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood did, you know, kind of subtly. And it was an excellent time that I was thoroughly satisfied by the end. And so those are my honorable mentions. Moving on to his.
So yeah, I have my top 10. I've ranked every single movie, but I'm just gonna go from top 15. I think 5 honorable mentions. So
okay.
Toy Story 4, as a long-time fan of Toy Story, this not only felt necessary, but emotionally satisfying, and the animation. Oh my god, just nothing I can say to truly encapsulate how amazing it was. Ad Astra is my next honorable mention. Brad Pitt gives a haunting performance that he just disappears into. A staggeringly somber atmosphere is achieved in this movie that sticks with you for quite a while. The Lighthouse, visually my favorite looking film probably of the past 2 years. Robert Pattinson giving one of the most satisfying performances ever, and that shows an amazing evolution, and Willem Dafoe plays a very lore-heavy character that you can dig into for days. Jojo Rabbit, man, talk about satire. This film, in concept, is genius. This film, in execution, is also genius. Taika Waititi makes his best film with a star-studded cast subtle humor, and insanely well-written characters. Roman Griffin Davis, worthy of a nomination, 10 times over. Yeah. And the last honorable mention is Bring a Little Lovin' and I'll Be Fine. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Tarantino's latest 3-hour blockbuster hit all my cylinders.
Almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours, yeah, and has the best use of a flamethrower I've ever seen. There's a lot of movies this year that were like 3 hours or nearly 3 hours.
And I love that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad that, like, Haunting of Sharon Tate wasn't 3 hours. But anyway.
Oh, it felt like 3 days, though.
Those are honorable mentions. Moving on to the top 10 movies of 2019, the big list. Finally here. I'm so excited to do this with you, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. So, okay, so my number 10 is a movie you didn't get to see, Dr. Sleep. I absolutely loved watching this film. It's not that I didn't think this movie was going to be good, but I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, because I only watched The Shining like super recently, like maybe like a couple months ago for the first time. And I thought it was a very, very well-made film, and it was pretty amazing, but I don't think it's, you know, a masterpiece or anything like that. It's probably mostly because it's, you know, something I just saw recently. So going into Dr. Sleep, I wasn't like a super fan of The Shining, but this movie I thought was even more enjoyable than The Shining, which no one's gonna have that opinion but me. But I thought this film did a lot of new stuff, and it really felt like something that was, you know, a kind of endgame-like experience for The Shining. Not in, like, its scale or anything, but it's just, like, it felt like something completely different that had a really amazing conclusion for this storyline, I guess.
Brought it all.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor gives a fantastic performance, so does Rebecca Ferguson. I almost forgot the name.
You're about to say also the little girl.
Yeah, and also the old lady from The Shining, 100 times scarier in this movie.
Whoa! Alright, well, I'm copping the Blu-ray when it comes to that.
100 times scarier in this movie. In The Shining, I didn't even find her that scary, but in this movie...
Yeah, she was sexy.
In this movie, I was like, well, get me out of the theater right now.
Yeah, right?
I could watch this movie over and over. This film is, like, the kind of slow burn I really like. It doesn't even feel slow to me ever, but, you know, I feel like some people would say that. So there's that. That's my number 10.
And moving on to my number 10, we have Uncut Gems. My God, we needed this from Adam Sandler. After having to endure Jack and Jill, Grown Ups 2, Murder Mystery, and Pixels, this is a blessing from the gods. Sandler has given us his best work and is easily in the top 3 performances of the year, with like Robert Pattinson and Taron Egerton, and the Safdie brothers managed to pull off a script I can't even comprehend. How they managed to pull off an absolute tour de force where every scene sounds like an entire concert crowd yelling at each other. Yeah, it hurts my brain. Hurts my brain. Uncut Gems.
So, number 9 is The Irishman, directed by Martin Scorsese. Absolutely fantastic. It feels like an epic, you know, 3 hours long. And I'll admit I felt the runtime. It did feel like 3 hours and 30 minutes in my opinion. But it felt like a true journey all the way through.
It was an earned 3 hours.
Yeah, and Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci. This movie just has an amazing acting ensemble, and everybody does just such a fantastic job, and they play off each other super well. And it's another sort of really good time, like Goodfellas. And honestly, I think I might like it more than Goodfellas just because I never thought Goodfellas was a masterpiece.
Me too.
Yeah, I never thought Goodfellas was a masterpiece like so many people out there. And, you know, people saying, like, Goodfellas is better than Godfather. Like, no. But that's just my opinion.
Also, I think we cared about the characters more in Irishman than we did Goodfellas.
Yeah, it's very, you know, leaves you with an ending that's just so masterful. But
and plus the aging effects.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Gemini Man. Because damn, so great.
My number 9.
My number 9 is Marriage Story, or Marriage Story. I refuse to believe that Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver were not actually married. Boom. I said it. They're going through an actual divorce. Because for God's sake, man, do you guys remember that scene from Captain Phillips at the end where he was going into shock? And you were like, dude, there is no way Tom Hanks is not actually going into shock right now. Well, that's both of these performances. But like throughout the entire movie. Because it's so real. It didn't even feel like there was a script. And I said to him at one point, there's this one scene where there's some pretty heavy dialogue, and you could see that they knew the script so well, and they had like brought so many nuances to the script, both Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, that they were doing these like inflections. They were like, you could tell they were just dying to get their words out and whatnot. It's unforgettable. It's unforgettable. So, Marriage Story.
Unlike the movie Unforgettable.
Which is actually unforgettable for us.
My number 8 is Rocketman. This film has one of the best male performances of the year, that of Taron Egerton, and he got snubbed too. What is with the Oscars?
Oh my god, yeah!
What is with the Oscars?
Yeah.
Like, who did they nominate over him? Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory, which I didn't see that, and someone from the Two Popes, which I didn't see that either.
Oh, was it Anthony? No, wait, hold up.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
I think it might have been him.
But anyways, this was a fantastic performance. I think he was just too real in this movie. It felt like he was feeling all the emotions that Elton John must have felt throughout his life. I'm really glad that the movie was like a musical, because it had this sort of flair to it that made it constantly engaging from start to finish, had me glued to the screen, and I don't really care actually that Taron Egerton didn't get a nomination, because it doesn't change how good his performance was.
No.
And so, yeah, Rocketman, number 8.
And you know what? I think the best part of the movie for me was the first time they broke out into song randomly, and it was Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting, and they're in the amusement park or whatever. I was getting so hyped, and the lady next to me hated me because I was like, and she was like, okay, stop. Number 8, Fighting with My Family. Alright, so a movie that hit me like a freight train of emotion. This is a very mature take on a truly compelling family. The dialogue was like, you notice it right as Nick Frost starts speaking. You're like, dude, this is like good ass dialogue. And this may have been the biggest surprise of the year for me. Don't look at the poster and think The Rock is gonna be in the whole thing, because that's a mistake. That's a really dumb poster. I don't know why they did that, but anyway, number 8, Fighting with My Family.
He's like in the middle of the poster.
Yeah, it would have been so good if you just saw The Rock without knowing it, without knowing he was gonna be in the movie at all, and been like, oh.
Yeah, so my number 7 is Ford v Ferrari. This is a emotionally impactful film by the end.
Alright,
Yeah, I think I teared up at the end, near the end, in one particular scene. But it just feels so real. Like, and the sound design for the racing scenes just absolutely amazing. It's just actually incredible. It's like, you know, when we see stuff like Dunkirk and war movies where with the gunshots, it's like that, but with driving in this movie. And Christian Bale and Matt Damon have fantastic chemistry, and the chemistry between Christian Bale and his son, I also thought, was really great. And, you know, John Bernthal was really good. Just terrific performances. And I enjoyed a lot of stuff. I think the only thing was, for me, I feel like they devoted too much time to the racing scenes rather than some fleshing out of some character moments, but that was just me. But this film, other than that, this film did everything perfectly.
Number 7, Hotel Mumbai. Now, you can argue...
Hotel Mumbai.
Hotel Mumbai. So, you can argue this movie came out in 2019. It came out in Canada in early January. And after Patriots Day, I thought I could handle any kind of violence. I was wrong. This movie was surreal. It was hard to watch at times, and you like having a really good cast of characters that you ended up, you know, empathizing with really brings the tension up, because it's just like, oh god, are they actually gonna die? Armie Hammer, is he gonna die? You know, Dev Patel, is he gonna die? No. And you know what? I never cry in movies. but I think I teared up in this one.
Oh damn! Finally,
Yeah.
finally.
No, yeah, and it wasn't even
this guy
part
never
of the
cries.
script.
Finally, cried in a movie.
And you know what? It wasn't even part of the script. It was like the true footage they showed at the end, but still, it's part of the movie, and it got to me. It got to me.
My number 6 is The Lighthouse. Visually stunning
Oh my gosh!
film
Oh my gosh!
with absolutely fantastic and just surreal performances from Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. It's a movie that I don't even know if I could recommend to anybody.
No, right?
And I don't know
Yeah.
who to recommend it to, but I just know it's just super well made and absolutely fantastic on a technical level and on a pretty much, it's just, there's so many interpretations you can make from it, but it's so weird that I don't know who would want to watch this film, but it's
an A20. It's an A24 movie.
Yeah, but anyone who watches this movie, I'm sure is gonna get something out of it. Like,
Yeah.
well, that was something.
Yeah.
But to me, I was just thoroughly just weirded out from start to finish, and it was
In the best way.
in the best way, and it
You're
is
fond of me, lobster.
a lot of shots just looked like album covers. It was really good.
Woo. Yeah, and that one scene where there's a monologue about a steak. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, a lot of just like a lot of shots with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson just arguing, but they're like the most riveting things
Yeah.
like, ever.
Yeah. Alright, so number 6 for me is The Irishman. And damn, Tarantino and Scorsese bring the heat this year, and I think Scorsese wins this one with his 3 hour and 28 minutes or 3 hour and 30 minute mobster flick, but a very somber and layered one at that. I wrote 2 pages of praise and did a 56-minute live stream about this, so you know it's got to be at least a near masterwork, and this movie's actually super quotable. I've gone back and watched so many scenes from this movie, whether it be Jimmy Hoffa and Tony Pro arguing, or, you know, that party scene. That entire party scene is just one of my favorite things in this entire year. You know, you can actually pull a lot from this movie, and yeah, I cared about the characters more than I did in Goodfellas or Casino. So, Irishman is something special.
Top 5. We're here, boys.
Yeah, you're really lounging here.
Shut up.
I can't do that in my chair because it's up against the desk.
My number 5 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think I disagree with you, and I would say that Tarantino did better this year than Scorsese. And it's just, there's so much in this film, and it really proves that Tarantino doesn't have to follow his own formula again and again with his films. There's obviously moments where you're like, okay, that's Tarantino.
Oh, there's some feet. That's Tarantino.
But the thing is, there's so much in this film that just, it's packed with a lot. And I think it works super well. There is a couple pacing issues, in my opinion, but beyond that, there is just a lot of great stuff. And I think everyone has a problem with Sharon Tate being in this movie, but I think she's a fantastic addition to this film for a lot of reasons that I mentioned in my review for it with him.
Yeah.
This film has a lot going for it. There's a lot of stuff happening, and it doesn't feel convoluted. And to me, it flows well, even though there was a couple issues I had with the pacing. There's like way too much that is just too well made about this film, and that is why, with terrific performances from Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, and you know, a nice spin on this storyline in
on
the
this
past.
terrible blight on Hollywood's history, right?
Yeah, it's a great Tarantino film.
Yeah, and it hooked us up with 2 great songs. The Come On Here and Love, and the
August 9.
Yeah, so good. So, number 5 for me is... I can't do the laugh at all. Wait, it's Joker! Like, the most controversial and talked about movie this year, probably, yeah. And we did a review and whatnot. It was also my most anticipated movie besides one other thing. And I don't like to think of this movie as a Joker movie per se. I like to completely separate it from the DC universe. I like to think of this movie as a DC movie because it gives more weight to DC's name, but I like to view this movie as just a purely psychological drama. Because if I view it in that way, it's flawless. There's nothing wrong with the movie, and I think it is so... It's almost magical how good it is if I don't think of it as a Joker movie. Because if I think of it as a Joker movie, I start nitpicking. And I start thinking about, you know, some weird, like, family timelines that go on in the movie. I'm just like, I don't need any of that. This is pretty much a perfect movie if I don't put Joker in it. If I don't put, like, the character of the Joker in it. Plus, you know...
no one's going to understand what you're talking about there.
Let's just say Joaquin Phoenix. He was pretty good.
He was alright, you know.
He was alright. He didn't even break character going up receiving his Golden Globe. He was nuts. My grandma was like, what a jerk. I was just like, that's just how he is. So,
that's just how he is in the movie.
Yeah, no, in real life, man. The guy's a nut, but one of the best actors of this generation. Yeah. And I think this might be his best performance, so, Joker.
Number 4, a movie that I gave an A+ to. I saw it, and I didn't review it because I just wanted to get to this list, and I almost didn't even see the movie.
Right.
But I'm glad I watched this movie. My number 4 is 1917. Shut the hell up.
And it's my number 4 as well, so I might as well just say that.
Oh, okay, so we can just both talk about it, yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, it is.
So, 1917 is our number 4. I think this film is just, like, it's too good.
It's
like,
too
there's
well-made.
so... Like the fact that most of it is one take in itself, or it looks like it's one take, that is just a filmmaking achievement. Like I don't think there's very many films that have done that. I don't think there's many films who have actually been like one continuous shot as long as this movie is. And
yeah, even Birdman had that overnight thing where you could see. There's one
Birdman
cut
wasn't
I can
like
remember.
yeah, there's only one cut in this movie that's like supposed to be obvious.
Yeah.
And it's just. Oh my gosh, it feels, since it is just one shot for most of the entire thing, it feels like you're going on this journey. And it's like, the characters have been through so many different areas, just so they can do one simple little thing near the end of the film.
Yeah.
And when you realize how far they've come, and how much no one cares,
yeah,
it's kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, it is like a happier ending than most war films, usually. But it feels real. It's like a VR experience.
Yeah.
If there's any movie you need to watch in theaters, it's 1917. This is a true movie theater experience that I could just go watch over and over. There's one part in the film where I was just like, this is cinema. And
yeah, this is cinema. Like, this is the definition of epic cinema.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what this movie made me do? It made me, like, feel like I was gonna fall in my seat. Yeah. There's this one scene where somebody jumps and he just kept falling, and I was like, 1917, I'll just give you a quick spiel about it. The only way we can truly get even half our thoughts out about this film, we'd need a 10-part analyze series, which frankly we don't have time for, nor the footage for. So I'll just say that this movie is a phenomenon. A modern epic, which is truly one of the most immersive and frightening films I think we've both ever seen. As a person who works on movie sets himself, I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they did it. It's like they built an entire world just to put some cameras and a crew and actors in it. In film, you gotta go home for the night. Send the crew for lunch, block new scenes, rig stunts, have safety meetings, retake brief actors, and a few other million technical things. This film makes me forget about all of that and puts us in the gruesome fields of World War I. So,
yeah,
1917.
Very well said there. And it also has really great performances from the two leads, George McKay, and I don't remember the other guy's name.
Well,
but they're both great.
Like Sam Mendes said, we cast two unknowns.
Yeah, but they're going to be known now.
Yeah.
So my number 3 is a movie that's on a lot of people's lists. It's like the basic pick, I guess, and that's Parasite.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Parasite. This film, it lives up to the hype in my opinion. I think it is just truly brilliant writing from Bong Joon-ho. and I think his directing of the film it's really, really great. And you know, what Bong Joon-ho said at the Golden Globes was some really powerful stuff. He said, if you can overcome the 1 inch tall barrier of subtitles, you'll be able to witness so many more amazing films. Yeah, that's powerful stuff. Whew. Really excellent performances from everybody. It's really intense. It's pretty frightening at times. It's not what you think it's gonna be. So yeah, definitely check this one out. Don't just be intimidated by it being in a different language. It's really, really good and definitely worth your time.
Alright, number 3 for me is Ford v Ferrari. I knew I'd like this movie. I didn't know I'd freaking adore it. Christian Bale and Matt Damon star in the best based on a true story movie of this year that just blew me the hell away with the amount of heart and style that this movie possesses. What can I say?
Yeah, I was surprised by how much you liked it.
Right, yeah. I remember I gave you an A+ grade. I texted that to you and you were like, oh, I did not expect that. Yeah. What can I say? Sorry, Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. It's the best racing film I've ever seen. Sorry, Talladega Nights. And that one shot from the trailer where it's like panning down to the racetrack, to the back of the Ford, and it's just whizzing past everyone's head. How could that have been a drone or something? Like, I don't know how they did it. Ford v Ferrari, amazing. Number 3.
So my number 2 is a small indie film.
Yeah.
Called Avengers Endgame. Stop doing this. Avengers Endgame. This movie has been waited on by fans, of course, for 10 years, and it absolutely delivered. And I was very, very scared that this would not be good. After Infinity War, I was like, this has to be good. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna just listen to the fan theories, or what's gonna? But everything.
Yeah, Ant-Man going up Thanos' ass.
But the whole thing just culminated. And it was just it was the best possible encapsulation of the 10 years of the MCU. It could have been, I mean, if it was a conclusion, it would have been a fantastic one. And, yeah, it's very good. And honestly, the fan service didn't bother me. I thought it was very well woven into the story.
Yeah.
And it was just insane. I mean, I loved how much they didn't reveal to us in the trailers. Going in, I knew like nothing, and I was like, oh my god.
I remember watching the trailer at school, like when he was just like, I know it's gonna work because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't. And I was like, what are you gonna do? Yeah. So.
And yeah, and you know, even with like clips they released, like it didn't tell you anything. So watching it was the experience of a lifetime. You know, since the director said you can spoil it now, I'm sorry if you haven't seen it by now. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. But when he says Avengers Assemble, one of the best theater moments I've experienced in my entire life.
Same here.
I was like, there's no way this is happening. This is so good as a fan, not like as a critic or anything. Just this is just the ultimate fan moment. And I've kind of worn out that scene because I've seen it so many times, but it's amazing. It's so good, and just the entire movie itself, even stuff that people say is a bit slower, I thought was fine. Like the first act, people said was slow, but I thought it was great. That was like your favorite part of the movie, I think, or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing performances. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. should have been nominated like a lot of people. I thought he had a really good performance, but I mean, like, if he hasn't been nominated for Iron Man by now, I just don't think. I knew they wouldn't do that, so.
No. Yeah. At least he has. You can see, you know, the legacy.
Yeah.
Of his arc and whatnot.
Culminate. And also, Avengers Endgame made Thanos my favorite MCU villain. He wasn't before, but this movie changed that.
You could not live with your failure.
Where did that bring you?
Yeah, so, alright. Number 2, for me, is Parasite. So, with the amount of attention this movie has been getting, you might assume it's overrated. I would beg to differ. All the way. If fighting with my family got my emotions and made me care about one family in that movie, Parasite does this with 2 families and fleshes both of them out even more. And I think that's why Parasite is this high on the list. Sure, it encapsulates 50 genres at once, It looks beautiful, was directed by a genius, and has powerful messages. But it also makes me truly feel attachments to all these complex characters that didn't even pre-exist in other movies. Parasite had me laughing, giddy with excitement, scared, in awe, confused, and begging to see it again as soon as possible. Not to analyze it, but to just be with these characters again.
And also, it's hard to juggle a lot of different genres at once, and the movie does that really well. So, number 1. Let's go.
It's not the same movie, because it's like, no. I've already...
That's never happened ever.
No.
Well, it probably has for like a lot earlier years, but we didn't do videos on those.
No.
But, my number 1...
never, actually.
No. What?
Never, man. We've never had the same favorite movie of the year.
2008.
Shut up.
Okay, so, number 1 for me is Joker.
I can't do the frickin' laugh, bro.
I would do, but that's just cringy as well. So, walking out of this film, I completely forgot the entire time that I was watching the movie. In fact, I didn't have it at my number 1 originally. It used to be Endgame. But the more I saw of it, and the more I thought about it, I just realized how good it actually was. And just how well made it is. I feel like the amazing thing about Joker is I never in a million years thought we would get a comic book movie like this, and we did, and it worked in the most fantastic way ever. Joaquin Phoenix is, of course, you know, absolutely fantastic in this movie. Everyone's already talked about that, and you probably know that already if you've seen the movie. It's unreal how amazing he is in this film, and the cinematography is great. The score is absolutely fantastic. It's pretty much the most bad I've felt for a protagonist in a really long time, and and the protagonist is someone who ends up doing really bad stuff, but it's mostly just because of how good his performance really is. And it's too real. It's almost like Joaquin Phoenix really is that crazy, which he does kind of act weird. He acts really weird in real life.
Watch his 60 Minutes review with Anderson Cooper. Anyway, it's a performance for the decades. Performance for the ages.
Yes.
I remember when the movie was ending, I was like, oh, it's ending.
Yeah.
No. You know when the movie's about to end because it's like this big slow motion thing, and I was like, God damn, it's only a matter of time before I see the end. Oh, there it is. God damn, I'm out. Number 1. Well, here we are. Where did this list bring us? Back to me. We already made that joke, but...
that doesn't make any sense.
Avengers Endgame! I mean, okay, I think
basic... No, I'm joking.
I think it's just the fact that we've been with these characters for however many years, 10 years, 11 years, saw them written like real people, with real emotions, with real histories and bonds that all came to a head here in this 3-hour finale that made me put Endgame at the top spot.
Yeah, and I feel like, before you go any further, I feel like a lot of people just hate on movies like these just to, like, be different. That's so stupid. Just, if you like the movie that much, you like the movie that much. There's a reason that Endgame is so praised. It's a really good movie, that's why. Yeah. And it's not just, you know, a comic book movie. It's not just what Martin Scorsese calls, I'm not even gonna... What he said... Martin Scorsese's great, but what he said is a disgrace.
If I can be blown away by a scene where Steve Rogers talks to Black Widow about a pot of whales he saw, or a scene where Happy Hogan talks to a little child about what she wants to eat, just imagine what the rest is like. You know, Avengers Endgame takes a string of relationships and deaths and events and cuts it perfectly. Endgame. Number 1.
So, that's it. That's our top 10 movies of 2019. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. I can't believe I've been making videos for this long. And it's been really fun. If I, stop making videos for a while or whatever, I usually always come back. I mean,
there's always movies coming out.
Yeah, I'm obviously not going to do this forever. But I'm going to try to do it for as long as I can. So stay tuned for more reviews in 2020. Thank you so much for joining me on this video.
My pleasure.
I would have done this earlier, but I wanted to wait for this guy because it's so much more fun to do it with him. So also go subscribe to his channel, The Graphic Loop, and watch his newest video. He ranked every single movie he saw in 2019. What a crazy man. And so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. I'd really appreciate it if you did. And as always, have a great day. Peace out.
Alright, so what I'm really gonna do now is I'm gonna give you a link to my drug dealer's website, and then yeet! Yo! Okay, hold on, before you kick, because I'm gonna